Hello students. Under pharmaceutical chemistry 2, now we are proceeding with the third experiment which is titled as to determine the boiling point of given liquid organic compound. Now in earlier experiment we have seen that boiling point and melting point, these are the two important physical constants for identification of any given organic compound, because every organic compound has got a fixed value or specific melting point or boiling point. So by ascertaining the melting point or boiling point of given compound, you can identify that particular compound. Now friends, boiling point of liquid is that temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid equals to atmospheric pressure. This is the definition of boiling point. Once again I am repeating, boiling point of liquid is that temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid equals to atmospheric pressure. Now you all know this physical constant, that is boiling point and even melting point. It is used for identification of given organic compound and purity of given organic compound, to check the purity of given organic compound. Friends, for this experiment you will be requiring Thiel's tube, thermometer, thread or rubber ring, capillary tube and one small boiler's tube in which the liquid will be filled. Now with regard to chemicals, you will be requiring only liquid paraffin, and you all know that if liquid paraffin is not available in your laboratory, then that time we can use concentrated sulfuric acid, but utmost care is to be taken or it has to be handled with caution. In the last experiment we have seen why liquid paraffin is preferred one as a heating medium for such practicals, because liquid paraffin is a clear, colorless, transparent liquid. Then it has got high boiling point. Then it is inert liquid, it will not react with any chemical. Then it is a stable liquid. You can reuse it, you can boil it many times, you can recool it many times, and even you can use that, it remains stable. Then it is a inert compound. Then it is non-volatile compound. Then it is easily available, it is cheap. So many advantages are there. That's why liquid paraffin is preferred. Now on your screen there is a diagram of setup of boiling point determination, how it is carried out. Now you can see one metallic stand is there, and there are two clamps which are attached to this metallic stand. On one clamp you will be fitting your Thiel's tube, and on another clamp you will be tying up the thread with thermometer, and you are hanging it with this clamp. So second clamp is used for hanging of the thermometer, and the one clamp is used for holding the Thiel's tube. Then again you all know that Thiel's tube is a glass tube which is bent at one particular bend from one side. A particular shape is given to it so that the liquid or liquid paraffin can circulate inside and proper heat can be distributed throughout the liquid paraffin. And then you can just go through the names which are given to various parts of this diagram. Stand for holding Thiel's tube and ring. Then second name is Thiel's tube. Then third you can see thermometer with capillary tube. Here it should be a thermometer with boiler tube. Then liquid paraffin and burner. So this is your experimental setup. Now the procedure. You have to fill the Thiel's tube first with liquid paraffin to more than 50% capacity of main limb and clamp it. See, you have to fill the liquid paraffin which is very clear, colorless and transparent. If you are given the pre-filled Thiel's tube, you must check it, and if you are doubtful about the quality of liquid paraffin, you can change it and never wash this Thiels tube before changing the liquid paraffin. Even if you wash it with water, you need to dry it completely, otherwise it will create a problem during heating. A particular noise will be generated and it will disturb, and even proper heating will not be there. So that's why you have to completely dry the Thiels tube before filling it, and you have to fill it up to the upper end of the bent portion of that Thiels tube, and slightly above that you have to fill, up to that level you have to fill the Thiels tube. So after filling the Thiels tube, just clamp it with the stand, and then take one capillary and seal its one end so that there can be no opening left. Completely seal one end of the capillary by rotating it in Bunsen flame by holding one end of the capillary between your two fingers and rotating it continuously. And we all know that capillary tubes are made up of very delicate glass, so that the ends can be easily closed. Then you have to place about 3 to 4 drops of liquid whose boiling point is to be determined in the boiler's tube, or we call it as fusion tube, and fill it to a height of 8 to 10 millimeters. Then insert the capillary which you have sealed from one end in such a way that open end is down and it is in the liquid containing in that fusion tube or boiler's tube. That means in inverted form or in inverted way you have to put that capillary in fusion tube, so that the closed end of capillary will be on upper side and the open end will be inside the liquid which you have filled in the fusion tube or boiler's tube. Then attach the boiler's tube or the fusion tube to the thermometer bulb with the help of thread and suspend it in the liquid in the Thiels tube or in liquid paraffin. Now next step is heat the Thiels tube gradually with low flame, and when bubbling from capillary initiates or when bubbles are coming out from the capillary, then discontinue the heating. There will be a steady stream of bubbles from capillary tube. Now you have to stop where a continuous stream of bubbles will come out from the open end of the capillary. That time you have to stop heating and note the temperature. That will be the boiling point of your liquid. When bubbles stop emerging and liquid begins to rush in capillary tube, note the temperature. This is the boiling point of your liquid. Okay. Now repeat the procedure twice and take observations. Now, while one or two care you must take while fitting this boiler's tube or fusion tube, or attaching the boiler's tube or fusion tube with thermometer, you should attach it in such a way that the bulb of the thermometer and the lower end of your fusion tube should be in one plane. Then second thing, while hanging or when you are suspending this thermometer attached to the boiler's tube in liquid paraffin, you should suspend it in such a way that it should not touch to the inner wall of the Thiels tube. So this precaution you have to take, and in this way you have to note down the boiling point at the point when the continuous stream of bubble comes out from the capillary tube, and you should off your burner, and when the bubbles stop emerging and the liquid begins to rush in the capillary tube, that time you have to note the temperature. Then at the end of this experiment there is around 10 questions are there, so try to attempt them without referring to any material.